Hey y'all, it's been a minute. Actually, I'm not sure how long it's been. If you have been binging this podcast, welcome back. If you have been listening to this podcast every once in a while, welcome back as well. Or if this is your first time here, yeah, I guess I need to do a better welcome. I said welcome 3 times, but you are welcome here too to Heartfelt Expressions of Katara Speaks. Anyways, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about my hair journey. I remember I told you guys about it briefly before on other episodes. If I did not, I mentioned it in multiple posts on social media depicting my hair journey. So let me break it down for you guys, and maybe you guys can relate, because everyone's hair journey is their own, what it means to them and the symbolism for it. So right now, my hair is pretty long. I remember there was a time when I had my hair all the way down to my tailbone. I requested to cut off a lot of hair. They said it was about 9 inches, and people did not notice I got a haircut because my hair was still long. It was that crazy. So, yeah, let's talk about it, shall we? So, if you don't know, I'm Asian. In my, culture, my family, I'm not sure about all Asian cultures, Yeah, but in my culture, hair, long hair especially for women, symbolize beauty, feminine beauty. I felt that I had to conform to that in a sense, since growing up as a kid, I couldn't quote unquote make my own choices. So when I was able to, I remember my parents was like, "Oh, how do you want to cut your hair this time?" Usually they only give me a trim. Yeah, I usually get a trim, and I decided in major periods of my life, elementary. What did I do in elementary? I'm not sure, but I know I did it in middle school. I did it in high school, in college, and after college. I had some major haircuts where I would have my hair cut extremely low, like a big chunk of it off, because usually I have long hair. So, yeah, for me, cutting hair symbolized autonomy and taking back control in a sense, rebelling against the beauty standards that hair needs to be long if you're a woman, to be feminine. So it was empowering for me, and a lot of people, my peers and family, and the people around me at the time, would always question me and say, "Oh, what made you do that? Oh, why did you cut off the beautiful hair? I love your hair so much." And I felt that keeping my hair long was for the benefit of others, and I didn't like that. I'm not sure if y'all can relate, it's like having to look a certain way for other people. And I wanted to take back my power in a sense, and it was something simple, just having a haircut. It felt simple, but it was big in my life, you know? And yeah, I did these major haircuts, and the most recent one, I remember I shared on social media that at first it was a mistake. You know, I was cutting my own hair and then I cut my bangs too low, which was technically true. I did cut it too much, though I already intended to cut my hair anyway. Cut my hair shorter than it was because, well, I was struggling. I was struggling mentally and emotionally at the time. Life was very stressful and things felt out of control. So I felt that I had control over my hair, you know? So I took it in my own hands and cut it myself. And then eventually I shaved it with a size 2 razor because, yeah, I already messed up the bangs. And yeah, it was in phases though. I did a shorter haircut at first, and then I didn't really touch my bangs and I wanted to fix that up. Then I messed up. So yeah, after I cut it too short, I was even more stressed. I sure was. I was like, wow. I felt like I was going bald. I was like, I would not cut it shorter. Because, yeah, it was supposed to be empowering. It became a emotional period. You know, eventually it grew up real quick. Like within a week, it grew out to a point where I was okay with taking pictures. And that's what I shared on social media, though 1 week later. Yeah. So during that most recent major haircut, it was one of the lowest periods of my life for real. And I tried to document it as much as possible, you know. It also was the time when no, I didn't actually. I was thinking, was I back on this podcast at that time? I wasn't. I was too stressed to even use my voice on here. Instead, I went to social media and shared a lot of stories with you guys and showed up on lives and stuff. Yeah. So, when I cut my hair, guys, I couldn't even recognize myself in the mirror. It was such a drastic haircut. And I remember there was this one time when I did another drastic haircut similar to this. My siblings didn't even recognize me. Like, they heard my voice, and when they saw me, it was like, whoa. I was not expecting that. And since they was not expecting that. And since I have so many brothers, I look like my brother. So yeah. So after the major haircut, I couldn't recognize myself in the mirror. So I already felt before the haircut, and especially after, I was looking at a stranger in the mirror, you know. And through this journey of my hair growing out, I started to love myself more, honestly, because it felt as if I was starting fresh. A fresh start where I am seeing the growth. You know, my hair is growing, I can see the changes, and I was able to actually look myself in the eye. And this was during the period when I did the affirmations. I am worthy regardless. You know, I said this every day. I would say both you and I, like, you're worthy regardless, because I didn't really recognize myself, you know. So I was like, you're worthy regardless of who you know and who knows you, what you did, what you do, and what you will do. You're worthy regardless of how much money in your bank account. You're worthy regardless of all these other things. I forgot all the things that I said. It's been a while since I repeated these affirmations. Now I just say, I'm worthy regardless. And worth is something to recognize, not earn. And that is something that, after repeating so many times, I finally believed it. You know, because I felt as if that you had to earn worth in order to be celebrated, in order to be acknowledged. Though you are already worthy. You do not have to earn it. You can recognize it, you know. Yeah, everyone may have a different perspective on that. That's okay, you know, something to ponder. So, yeah, on this hair journey, I bonded with other people who was also on their hair journey, in a sense. You know, it was pretty cool to go through this transformation, in a sense, internal transformation and external transformation, together with people. You know, it's a self-care journey, in a sense, and self-care is a practice. Self-love is a practice, and that's why I reflect on that time period. My hair is still growing, and now I still maintain it. So during that time period when I was taking care of my hair, I still do, but on this major hair journey, right, I started changing my lifestyle with hair care. I brought sleeping bonnets, silk pillowcases. I started getting a detangling brush. I brought the shampoo and conditioner separate, and I paid attention to the ingredients in these products to make sure it is healthy for my hair. I also got hair accessories, y'all. Before, I did not know how to do many hairstyles. You know, usually I leave it down or I put it in a ponytail. And I did not know what else to do. Yeah, because when I used to braid my hair before, it was kind of difficult for it to stay since my hair is so silky, and every time I try to put it in a bun, it comes out. I have not mastered the hairstyles yet till this day. Though it takes practice for sure. I got accessories, which, let me tell you guys, I got some hair clips, some butterflies. There are I have feathers. I got the gold looking ones, the silver ones. There was the clips, the claws. Oh, even headbands. There was pretty headbands too. So I started accessorizing. Looks gorgeous, guys. I did this before, but I started doing it more. I started wearing shower caps. I don't wash my hair every day anymore because it strips my hair of the oils, its natural oils, and I was overwashing my hair, and I did not know. So now I think I only wash my hair every 2 days. every 2 or 3 days because my hair really does not need to be washed every day. Yeah, and it's healthy. It's healthier than ever because I'm not using so much products for my hair anymore. And I got this like scalp what kind of word? Scalp scratcher. The thing that helps you wash your hair in the shower, and it is quite nice. It's like a massager for my hair. Yeah, so I've been taking better care of my hair during this journey, and it's been pretty cool. So I was wondering, how has your hair journey been? How is your hair journey is going? Yeah, something like that. Yeah. What does hair means to you, and what does cutting your hair means? There's also different hair journeys because some people cut your hair, some people do dreadlocks. I am not really educated about dreadlocks, though that is also a hair journey. What else? There's other things for hair journeys. I guess letting your hair grow. I'm not sure. What is your hair journey? What does that mean for you? You know? Because my hair journey has been mostly cutting my hair. Yeah. And having it grow and doing it again. You know, in different phases of my life. And do other people affect your journey? Like their inputs, do they influence you to act or behave in a certain way to accelerate or prevent you from doing something? I'm not sure if that makes sense. For example, I used to be afraid to cut my hair so much before because I feared that people would judge me and say that I was not feminine enough. And so I would just trim my hair, even though that's not what I wanted. Yeah. Ooh, another aspect could be dyeing your hair, like having your hair change colors. So yeah, that's actually something I want to do. Hopefully I can find a way to do it in a healthy manner without all the toxins if possible, because I always wanted to dye my hair, you guys. Auburn purple, that's the gradation of purple, you know. So I think that would be really cool. I haven't done it yet because one, finances. That I heard when you dye your hair, you had to, what's that? You had to keep doing it. You had to keep doing it, you know? And two, I guess I get in my own head with change, you know? It's like, what if I show up on social media with black hair and then all of a sudden I have purple hair? You know, that consistency, it kind of scares me. It shouldn't, you know. It's like, hey, it's hair, you know. Yeah. And I feel that changing my hair color will make me stand out even more, and sometimes that can be scary. So I have not taken that leap yet, though one day I will. That's why I'm also curious about your journey and how it affects you guys. And the positive and potentially negative ways, you know? And if you have any regrets on that, you know, on that journey, because I remember, like I told y'all, I was regretting cutting my hair so low. I'm not sure if I told you I cried. I was so devastated that I was gonna be bald forever, because I felt as if I shaved it so low. And I was like, whoa, it's not gonna grow back. It did. It grew back real quick too. So, yeah. Have you guys ever had that fear? When you guys made such a drastic change to your hair that you felt that it was irreversible, whether it's changing your hair color, getting dreadlocks, cutting your hair, or something else, you know? I did try hair extensions. It's I'm not used to hair extensions. I'm not, but it was pretty. I had, what's that? I can share on social media sometime when I had hair extensions that had purple streaks in it. The auburn thing I was telling you guys about. It looks so pretty. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's it about the hair journey. Yeah, because I remember I told you guys on social media I was gonna go more in depth about it. And if you guys want to check those out, I compiled some videos of showing the different phases of me cutting my hair. I experimented a lot with scissors and the razor, trying to do it by myself. Yeah, I didn't have the photos and the videos where I had my hair so long that it was at my tailbone, because all my photos during that time period and my videos at the time period got corrupted. And I was like, dang man, I don't have the evidence for it, but it was true. And yeah, I remember, let me tell you guys, there's this one time when in school, one of my schoolmates was she was a wedding hairstylist, and she wanted to do my hair because my hair is so long naturally and it wasn't extensions, so she offered to do my hair for free. And since I never did much with my hair before, I said sure. Yeah, I don't know what different hairstyles that can be done. So she did my hair in a bun, and I didn't know how to use hairpins. She used a lot of hairpins and got my hair in a bun, but it was so much hair that all the hair would not fit in the bun thing. And I was like, wow, this is so gorgeous. I loved it so much that I didn't even want to take my hair out to take a shower or go to sleep. Though that did not seem reasonable. I think I did take pictures, but those got corrupted. And I was like, wow, that was gorgeous. So, yeah, my hair is growing. Okay, what is my length now? It's past my shoulders, y'all. It is about the longest part. I got my hair layered the last time I got a haircut. I got a wolf's haircut sometime last year, a couple months ago. So now the longest part is down to my chest, mid-chest. Yeah. So, yeah, my hair is growing. At least, I have hair accessories to really try out new styles. I can't believe I forgot about this, guys. This is so important that I had to add this on before I end this podcast episode. So for the hair journey, I had the realization, that I am not my hair. If you guys ever heard of India RE, I Am Not My Hair, that was the song I was playing over and over again. Why? Because so many people had their own assumptions about my identity after I cut my hair. They made some bold assumptions, and they were wrong. And I was questioning myself in a sense of, man, am I my hair? Does my hair reflect who I am and what I prefer? It does not. Sorry about the noise. Hold up. Yeah, your hair does not define who you are and what you like. It's a choice. It's autonomy. You decided that you want this. I hope you decide about your hair journey, and I hope other people didn't make that decision for you, because that is very tragic. That would be, wow, I guess I didn't really think about that, like the ability to choose. I stand firm that it is your body, so your body, your choice. If you want to cut your hair, you should be able to. Yeah. And if you do not, you should be able to say no. So, I forgot about that. About that main point. You are not your hair. Yeah. And when people... Okay. Wow. I did not realize. Okay, let me tell you guys this story. When I went places and people assumed that I was a guy, or that I have different preferences, and what was that? They was offended. People was offended about my decision to cut my hair because it's not feminine enough. It's not they wanted me to look as if I was one of those cute, shy Asian girls, and this is coming from personal experience, by the way. And when I was not a person with long hair at the time, and when I was not soft-spoken, I offended people. Yeah. And it got so bad that they called me out in front of everyone, saying that I was not acting proper. That I was trying to be someone I was not. They used the word appropriation. I won't go into much detail about that, though I feel like I had to tell you guys the story. Okay, since I will touch about this topic kind of later on, So, I think I shared this story before. This appropriation story. This podcast episode is expanding more than just hair. I just wanted to focus on the hair aspect, though. Let me explain. So I was performing. What's that? I was performing on stage my poetry. And at the time, I was wearing a snapback, oversized hoodie, and sweatpants, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's something I'm comfortable with. I introduced myself. It's like, hey y'all, I'm Katara Speaks. Today I'm going to be performing this, this, and this. Whatever poem I was sharing. And since I was on stage, I projected my voice. And I performed it, everything was well, got the snaps and stuff like that. And one audience member had feedback for me. They asked, I later shared with you guys that there was okay, let me slow down. So this audience member told me that they were so distracted from my appropriation of what they assume is a stereotypical black person, right? They was like, I am trying to be black because I wear my hat, my snapback, like backwards. And I was projecting my voice. I wasn't ladylike. I wasn't soft-spoken. I was trying to be someone I wasn't. And I was moving in a way. They were saying that I was jiving or something like that. I did not really understand that term. I had to look it up, and even when I did, it really didn't make sense to me. So, how it applied to the situation. I was like, I am sorry if you felt that way. You know, I grew up in an area where there's a lot of black people and half my family's black. So if I sound so quote unquote black, you know, then that could be the influence of my environment and upbringing. They told me, well, you should have did a disclaimer. You should have told everyone that you had this cultural background, because I couldn't hear a single word you said because I was so distracted. And your haircut is not feminine. You're not proper. You're not acting like you should. You're not soft-spoken. And I was quite confused. I am performing in front of a lot of people on stage. Why would I not project my voice? You know? I came to the event dressing comfortably. You know? Sweatpants and a hoodie and a hat and some tennis shoes. Guys, it's comfortable. It's streetwear. So, yeah. I was quite confused about that. I was... Did I apologize? Let me think. I think I said, I sorry you feel that way. But I do not apologize for not doing a disclaimer before my performance about my cultural background, because I'm just performing, you know? Like on this podcast, guys, I don't really share, I don't share everything with you guys, you know? On every episode, I'm not gonna reiterate these aspects about my life. It's a journey. This podcast is like a continuation of a story, in a sense. You know, you piece things together like puzzle pieces, and you guys get to know a little bit more about me. And yeah, eventually, I won't spoil it too much, though eventually we will get to know more about y'all, more about you guys, you know? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So, yeah, this is a journey. And at first I didn't really want to talk about the whole story because I wanted to focus on the hair journey specifically, how they was focusing on how short my hair is, how unladylike and unproper it is, and unfeminine and not Asian I am. They expected me to be shy and soft-spoken. And that was not the case. You know, if you guys meet me, I am not shy. I am not a shy person. I'm not a touchy person either. But I am really good at handshakes, you know, in a professional sense. If we meet professionally, I could get you a firm handshake, you know. Yeah. I can project my voice. I speak on stages all the time. That's natural. Yeah. Anyways, and I perform on my poetry. Yeah, I'm just stuck on the fact that they expected me to be soft-spoken. And on this stage, we didn't have a microphone, I don't think. So, in order for everyone to hear me, I had to project my voice, or I would not be heard. So, I did what I had to do, you know, and it's normal. Anyways, back to the continuation of whatever I was saying before. I would insert this segment in here after I literally just said I would not go into it. I just went into it. Anyways, back to the regular thingy majig, the show, the episode, the recording, yeah, that. But I was offended. I was offended because how I decide to cut my hair has nothing to do with other people. Yeah, and how people perceive me, and the cognitive dissonance between how they perceive me with my haircut and how I actually am should not be my responsibility to make sure they match. You know? Yeah, their expectations for me to have my hair in a certain way and speak a certain way is not for them to decide for me, you know, and impose onto me. Yeah, the same goes for you guys. It's not others people place other people's place to put these labels onto you and make you feel uncomfortable in your skin, uncomfortable in your body, and uncertain about your decisions with what you want to do with your hair. You should not feel unsafe. You shouldn't feel not safe with how you choose to do your hair. Yeah, especially when it makes me think of like in workplaces where like there's a professional hairstyle and it's a problem. It's a problem because our hair should be how we want it to be. For example, I told you guys before that half my family's black, so, and my siblings are mixed, and their hair is not silky straight. It's not, you know, and having long hair, especially in the workplace, is considered professional, and that it could damage hair. Heat, constant heat, trying to do a certain hairstyle or perming your hair is damaging. So if someone wants to leave their hair natural, If you want to leave your hair natural, that should be okay. That should not be the place of a workplace or school or other people decision to say what is beautiful and what is not, what is professional and what isn't. I'm offended. I'm offended. After I was reading my notes and listening back on the audio, I was like, dang, this one important aspect, I forgot to talk about it. And sometimes I do that for episodes and I just do not go back and say it. Yeah. But this was too big to not say. And then this is one thing I didn't go back and say in one episode, but it relates to this because I told you my family's mixed. So especially my mixed siblings, they're too Asian to be considered black, and they're too black to be considered Asian, even though they're in both demographics. And it really sucks because it's a part of their identity. So they feel like they don't belong anywhere, when in actuality, they belong in both. You know, they sometimes don't feel like they belong because they're mixed. And that could also apply to your life. You know, if you're mixed and you have different type hair, you know, curly hair, and or your skin tone might be different, and then there's different expectations because of how you look, and that shouldn't be so enforced. You know, it shouldn't be the expectation. People are people, for real, and we all have our own personalities in every race and ethnicity. Yeah. And gender, you know? It's like, hey, we can be who we are. We should be able to be who we are, and how we decide to do our hair, to show up in the world, how we dress. This got a lot deeper than just a hair journey, though. Yeah, autonomy is important. It really is. Being able to make your own decisions is important, and not having other people impose their views and expectations on you to conform in a type of way for you to be deemed acceptable, to be deemed tolerable, safe to be around. You know, that it shouldn't be like that. Yeah. And this might be controversial, a controversial take, though we should be able to make our own decisions with our bodies. Yeah, we should be able to live our life how we choose, how we dress, how we do our hair, and still be able to feel safe, you know, no matter where we are. No matter where we are, there was like, I know cultures, in different cultures, there's different expectations. Though we're people at the beginning and the end of the day. You know, we are people. And I think we need to not think. We need to remember that. We need to remember that we are people. We are people. So, yeah. Whew. That was, what people say, hot take. Yeah, I had to add this in somewhere in this podcast episode. I'm probably gonna do it before the outro. Yeah. So, you are not your hair. Ah, yes. I haven't really posted much on social media as of late. I've been very focused on my other projects that I am working on. You guys will find out more about those later. Yeah, for sure. though I am going to be back on social media. If you guys are listening to this as I put these out, if you guys are here from the future, my future, if you guys are here from a long time from now, where I'm already posting a lot and have these projects I'm talking about already out, that's pretty cool. I'm saying hi from the past, but you're present. Woo! Yeah, isn't that cool how this all works? It feels like I'm talking to you now in the present, when technically, even if you guys hear this when I put these out, I'm from the past. Woo! So, yeah. Anyways, if you guys like this podcast episode, my other podcast episodes, I am also just talking to you guys, yeah. Ooh, this is near the end of season 2, A Heartfelt Expressions that Katara Speaks. I have some great changes that I want to tell you guys more about in the trailer of next season, season 3. So keep a lookout for that. I'm also working on the bloopers for season 2, so that bonus episode will be out soon as well. We only have one more episode of season 2 before we are transitioning to something new. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Though let's be in the present, right? Yeah, if you guys like this, you guys can check out more. Let me know where you guys are listening from. Yeah, like what country? Because when I was looking at the statistics, I have people from all around the world already listening to this, and I have not really been advertising this at all. I'll do better. Though, if you guys listen to this now, let me know where you guys are coming from. Yeah, I know this is on multiple different platforms, so it would be nice to hear that. You guys can also find this on YouTube and comment, because that's easy to do. I'm not sure if the other platforms allows you to comment on their platform, so yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful hair journey. If you guys are currently on it at the moment, I hope that your other hair journeys before this has gone well. I'm not sure if that even makes sense. I hope it was a pleasant experience. And for future hair journeys, that it will go well too. Yeah, because it can be emotional. It's a journey after all. My journey definitely was emotional. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Hope to hear from you guys soon, and that you guys check out the other episodes of Heartfelt Expressions with Katara Speaks. You guys can follow, you guys can subscribe, or whatever it is. And yeah, until next time, I see y'all soon.